working and we putting in every day. You got me working and we pushing it in every way.
And of course we have with us this morning, yes, Mr. Granville Valentine, General Secretary of the NWVP for the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, an industrial expert, a man who has been around for a very long time. He knows the business pretty well, and we haven't heard from him in a long time. I don't know if he has taken industrial action against us.
Absolutely not, my friend.
My friend, how you know? Good to have you.
Against the workers.
A lot of
and those that fight for the workers.
Yes.
Stand in the gap for the workers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not, my friend. Just that the schedule has been so busy, very hectic
these days. Yes.
A lot of impromptu calls, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to just do what you have to do. When they call you, got to move, eh?
Exactly. When you have to move, you have to move.
Mm-hmm.
So updated, what has been happening? We have been having challenges with, especially in the public sector. Many of those in the public sector are not happy about the changes, that they are trying to, to do away with all these various allowances and simplify the salary structure. There's a problem with the security guards in terms of the tenure of their employment. I gather that some of them are now being required to sign these new contracts, and some have refused to sign it. For the teachers, there seems to be a challenge too. So the industrial climate is not as quiet as it used to be, say, a few years ago. So tell us what's happening.
I wouldn't say in a few years. I'd say it has been quiet for about 20 years.
Yes.
There are some new scenarios that is causing some concerns, grave concerns, and as a result, the workers really are riling up. And I tell you that people are revolting. That's what is happening. It's getting there. So there's a lot of industrial unrest. Also, there's a major change or paradigm shift as it relates to this the salary review, the compensation review. So the manner in which it is, let me tell you first, I believe that it's a good move because we started looking at that a long time ago, but you have to be very careful as to how you implement,
Right.
For example, there are some benefits that were never negotiated away and were never included in the review, such as things like some travel, some motor vehicle benefits and things like increment, etc., seniority, and these are things that must be recognized and must be treated in accordance with the contractual arrangement and the agreement that is in place. So we are working on those. We were at Finance yesterday, and we are expecting to hear back from Finance next week. And in the affirmative, because it is not something that we're giving up. We're not giving it up at all, and we're not going to shortchange it. The workers at this time need proper sound and representation, and people. We who stand in the gap as a vanguard to stand up now more than ever. So, whilst we look at that generally, we are also keeping a close eye on the Water Commission, the NWC. We are at the local level, where we have carried out some work with the job evaluation team and the steering committee. We have sent off documents to the ministry.
Right.
There are some concerns, but we are watching it to see where we go.
Mm-hmm.
I will update you further if there's a need where that is concerned. We are also at the local level with PICA, immigration officers, and PICA in general. The steering committee is set up, and we started talking last week. I think we are having some good talks, and we hope to expedite that as best as possible to get that out of the way. Part of my concern, though, is where you look at whether public bodies or agencies that we indicated clearly, and that was spoken to by some of the trade unionists and the Minister of Finance widely touted that these people would come in the second round, which is April 1. But there are some circulars that comes from the Ministry of Finance, and circulars, for those who don't know what it is, it's instructive document that guides the government sector, the public sector work,
right,
authorities to take actions. So some of those circulars would have especially Circular 8 and Circular 20, would have touched some subject matters for persons who has not been properly evaluated yet or aligned. As a result, they will not see full effect of a compensation review. So our thing is that you should not touch those until you would have completed the process.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have seen people in peak are losing like up to $50,000 per month.
But what I can't understand though, how is this possible? My understanding is that they are going to merge the allowances, right, into your salary.
They use the term though. They use the term absorb.
Yes.
And that term is not a straightforward addition. It means that you take in, but the formula to calculate the algorithm that is used, there seems to be some fuzzy maths in some of us, or some of us, or some
fuzzy maths.
Some
you mean two
maths that we don't really understand.
You mean two? You mean 2 plus 2 equal 22?
Yeah. 1 and 1 is 11, 2. So there are some concerns. Yeah?
Yes. But what I can't understand, though, and you probably can help me to understand this. I remember that I said on this program that I really can't see this matter being sorted out by December. This whole concept of Christmas and money for Christmas, this thing takes time. And another thing is, I can't understand. I'm just thinking I don't know, probably I'm not the brightest person ever, but I'm just thinking that if you're going to have new salary structures, you're going to merge things and rationalize and do all these things, that you'd send out the workings first to the various government departments. You call probably a peer advice. It would not be a peer advice, but you'll be giving notice of what it will be. So persons can look at it and then you can say this doesn't look right. But it seems to me we implement a system only to find out that there are some challenges. I don't understand. Why did we do that?
Not some, many challenges.
Major?
I just don't believe that it is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened?
But it tells me though, are you telling me that as a country we can't work together and get it right? It doesn't come across good at all.
But it surely doesn't. It really doesn't. But other persons believe that it could. So I said to people early in the game that look, we will have to sit at the table again and we must start negotiating. I remember my colleague said, no way, we're not negotiating, but they're back at the table with me now.
Oh, Lord.
They're back at the table. And nothing is wrong with that. I mean, all of us don't get it right all the time. You see, this is a new methodology, It's something that's absolute new. So if anyone believes in the life of me that this massive change
right
would be seamless or could be done in a rush, you're making a big mistake.
Well, I'm glad I was one of those who said so. But I'm going to say to you, I'll put it to you, that this allowance thing was against the law from day one. Because, help me, as far as the law says, any income, benefit, trade, or what arises from any trade or so on, is taxable. And where we have these allowances was a way to get around the law by those who have made the law. And you could end up in a situation where you could probably pay somebody probably 60-70% of their salary in allowances.
Yes.
Why did we do that in the first place? It gives a country with a culture which everybody tries to use them ahead.
No, but you see, you find these things happen in a situation where the cost of living is high and the country's budget is weak. So there is not enough to pay the worker, and you have to find creative ways of allowing the worker.
Oh, that's what you call it, creative.
Yeah. So.
Or you say you find some money. I always wonder how we can find money. I'd love to find some money myself.
Yeah, creative ways, to ensure that the worker has a livable wage. So.
But I put it to you, Mr. Valentine, that it will not be, because unless the country is productive, unless we are running the country properly, then if a man got $10 last year and you have to increase it to $20, Mark, you know the impact of external factors. But putting that aside, it seems to me that a lot of, a significant reason for us to be increasing salaries each year is based on how we run things, and we're not very efficient, we're not very productive, and we don't sometimes make the right decisions so that we all can benefit.
Well, the truth is, it's not all persons.
Yes.
A lot of workers are not given the proper resources and tools
To be productive.
to be productive. So they have to be doing makeshift and do with what they have. So one has to take that in consideration. But we do have some very productive workers. Yes, we have some that are not so productive.
Oh, by the way, when I say productive, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the fault of the worker. I will tell you, for example.
Okay.
You take for example, computerization. Right.
Yes.
Take, for example, computerization. This is a country where we have persons can think. And it's amazing how we're still into manual things. It's amazing how the system, here we're moving with NIDS, now we're moving forward and so on. We should have gone that route long ago. Even our school system or the police system.
Yes, I know. When you go that route, you have to go in the right way.
I know that. You have to go the right way.
The right of people. So, like the compensation, I think that compensation review, I think that we moved with ambiguous.
Yes.
And we are paying for that now. There are some things that have to go through the full gamut. I remember one great lawyer at the IDT once indicated in the Jamaica Farmers case that the law walked the same route to be created and the same route to make changes. So it will take the same process.
Yes.
If you can modernize or expedite the process, that's fine. But if you can't, then you can shortcut and shortchange the process.
And that's where the problem comes about, because as them say what? Shortcut, draw blood, long cut, draw sweat.
Draw sweat. So so sometimes it is better to go the long route.
And that is why good governance is important.
Wisely though. Yes, you have to go along with wisely.
Yeah. And I must tell you, that's where the trade unions have to play a very important role. They're into trade union matters, but a lot of the decisions that affect them, they're really political decisions. We have not done a very good job of managing our country properly. We have made some bad decisions in terms of managing the economy. And we're not, even as a citizen, when certain things will be done, it takes forever, and that affects productivity. Everything you have to get the time off to go do it. You go to the banking system. The whole system is it's just made to make life difficult for the average person. So workers have to take time off to do this, to do that.
I said something to you once,
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember. I tell you that Jamaica is a first world country with a third world economy.
Is that the same as you try beverage packet and champagne?
The way that we manage resources and the way we do business.
Yes.
Because if we could modernize and bring 21st century systems in place, nobody could manage Jamaica, man. Jamaica, yes. We're ahead. We're ahead.
I'll tell you what. I was going to take a look thing and listen to some music and then come back to you.
Even when with a willing heart.
Yes.
3, 4, 5 bus taxis.
Man.
So we need to look at the modern world and see the work that can be done from home. And we do that. Is that cluster in transportation and commuting. We also need to look at I am looking at a possible work from home situation, or work from maybe a different location that's more convenient.
Right.
This physical presence In modern world, they don't need to do that.
But you see, what we have to change the philosophy of working also, because work is sometimes seen as being at your station from 8 o'clock and leaving probably at 4:30, rather than giving a number of objectives and say that you are to achieve these objectives. Whether it takes you 2 days or 1 day or 1 hour, but we know you have to give a time limit.
We need to move. We need to move with time.
Yes.
I say this to you: if someone is working from home, sometimes that person can start work at 6 o'clock instead of 8, 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So by 8, 9 o'clock, come them done have day work already.
Yes.
So if we don't think out of the box and think global, think first world, 21st century,
right,
then we will forever be behind. So productivity is most important. Yeah, as you say, we need to have, and you can always look at longer hours of 24 hours. If some people can do 2 jobs because they can do some job work at home, the person reaching work can still take care of the kids but still do some work.
Mm-hmm. But there's a feeling somewhere, in some quarters that you work with me, you can't work anywhere else. And I said to myself, if you have a business, you'll have 2, 3, 4 businesses. So why the worker can't have 2, 3 jobs?
Well, you see, the enslavement of work.
Lord have mercy.
The problem.
We have to go back at that. Go back. No, we never. Lord, we can't leave that at all.
It's true, because the person worked for you and you believe that person. You own the person. You don't own people's training and their skills.
Yes,
the person have a contractual agreement with you
to do a particular
and that
job.
ought to be honored, 100%. But you don't want the person. And if you work with me, you can't do the same work for a next person. What rubbish? That makes no sense. You don't want the person. You don't want the person's skill either. You employ the person's expertise
to do a particular job.
Yes, and if they do it diligently and well, then you should be satisfied.
Boy, I've never heard it put forward that way, And that's the feeling I get sometimes where companies and organizations, persons believe that they own the individuals. They're not your property.
Gone are those days. You don't even want to pick them up these days.
Hold on. You don't even want to pick them much. Exactly.
So we got one big adult. Yeah, because on the adult work, we don't deal with child labor.
So we have a problem at and by the way, I need to ask you about something too, with they're talking about AI and all this. But make sure that you have mentioned all the points that you want to mention. I don't want to talk. And
I did remiss of me not to mention the security guards.
Oh yes, let me shut up. Yes, yes. Yes.
Because it is absolute madness that is happening where the security guards are concerned.
Yes.
And let me declare, I'm a director of NHT, so I can speak to a certain aspect of it. I'm not a spokesperson for NHT, so let me make that very clear.
Right.
But as a trade unionist and as a Jamaican, security guards are treated closest to slavery in this country.
My God, I think I was the only one who felt that way.
It is that rubbish that we must fix. They are human beings. They are the ones who put their bodies and lives on the line every day for little and nothing, penny can. Now, when I hear this madness about their change in contracts, blue chip companies all of a sudden can find the finances to treat work at a minimum level with certain decent work and decent standard of pay. That's madness, and somebody must do something about it. This must stop. Yes?
So let me ask, what's the aim of all this new contract, though? What's the aim of that? Because I'm trying to...
It's a good question. You're asking the wrong person, because I will be forced in a position to assume too many things, and I may assume the wrong things. I don't want...
Well, if you are not told, then nothing wrong is assuming what are the possible reasons, because if they're not talking...
There's absolutely no need for them to be giving people new contract to sign. For example, why would you want me to surrender my past services?
But hold up, I thought the ruling made it clear, help with this one, that they were part of the workforce. So what, you're going to stop them from being part of the workforce and then start another job? Is that what? I'm confused.
I think they are trying to run from redundancy pay, obligation of things like vacation leave. Because vacation leave is not something that you can take away. It's not like the 15 days sick and you don't use it, and there's no accumulation beyond that. Vacation leave.
Mr. Valentine, let me tell you something,
Yes.
I keep saying it, if something is built on the wrong premise or wrong concept or whatever it is, one day it will catch up with you.
Let me tell you this, we are treading on dangerous ground.
Yes.
We're talking about people who are of a trained mind and in a particular discipline.
Mm-hmm.
That's the wrong set of people that you treat like this. Wrong set of people. In a society that we are faced with high crime and violence, which we don't need.
Yes.
Which we don't need.
Yes.
Because this lovely Jamaica, we must get back there. We must get back to that place where we can walk up and down free again. I'm not one of them who believe that we can't.
But guess what, Mr. Valentine? There are some of us, say Vernon Darby here now, let me see who work with me now, and I decided to be wicked to them. To me, I'm committed. If I keep on that person, to me, that's a crime against humanity. That's not different from when someone will up on the road and take my money.
No.
So we need to understand that when we do certain things to other human beings, we are no different from, because the mindset that you have to do that is no different from the mindset of a criminal who hold up men or hold up women. Because to me, I could not, in my right frame of mind, do something to certain persons. It's better I say that, guess what, we can't afford to pay, but that money is there for you. Probably we'll say we're going to become shareholders in the company or something like that.
We cannot as a country start talking about decent work agenda. When in the 21st century we are talking about suppressing the rights and justice of one of the largest block of workers in the country. The 28,000 to 35,000 security guards are in this country.
Boy, that's so much? Yeah. Larger than the security force? The JCF?
Yeah, man. They're about
to
35,000 because
my God.
We ask. Depending on who we ask. We have some private security and some other security that are not captured in the network. Yeah? But my take is that we must treat them well. We must treat them good before we can treat anybody else.
Well, probably Vernon went to you.
The external workers that comes to our country as expatriates are treated with gold spoons and kids' gloves, and our hard working brothers and sisters that stand at our doors, protect us in the car park, protect us in our homes, and on the streets, and everywhere we go we see security guard.
Are you saying that
that children of a lesser God, then it must stop?
Are you saying that black man function like Bakamasa?
Well, I'm going to show it, none at all, because that set up nowadays. And I'm
not talking about that, the foolishness, but I'm talking about where we are treated. And by the way, it means therefore many of us here.
Slavish mentality.
Yes, it's still there. And they're Bakamasa. So when we have the argument about who are Bakama, I'm talking about those of us who lead in charge of organizations and how we treat people. We are Bakamasa, whether you like it or not.
Listen, I tell you this, if we don't correct this wrong, and correct it now, start the corrective measures now, instead of causing it to fester more, we will pay dearly for that as a country.
I remember the last man who made that comment, shall pay dearly for it.
Dearly for that. So it is best for us to negotiate the most reasonable position.
Yes.
The most humane position. The most affordable position, using your discretion in all counts, and find that mid-ground and start moving in the right direction now.
If we don't, sir, that bad blood will become a part of history. And because it's part of our history, becomes a part of the future.
As a people, how do we feel?
Yes.
In our warm, nice beds and decent home and high-polluted lives. We treat human beings.
But we have to leave now. Any final point you want to leave with us, Mr. Valentine?
I just pray for the workers right now, and I just say to all the workers, stand strong, hold faith, and there are some of us trade unionists who have your interest at heart, still around, and we will stand with you. We will ensure that your rights and justice are protected. We want our country to move to a different place. We love our country. All of us must love it, but some say them love it, but they make everything possible.
Well, guess what? No, I'm going to pray for those who are leader and manage. I'm going to tell them not change your heart, because let me tell you something, retribution is a hell of a thing. So I'm going to pray for them. Careful, tread carefully, do good, and good to follow you.
There for my brother.
Yes.
Blessings. Good talking to you.
Granville Valentine, thank you very much, General Secretary of the NW and Vice President of the JCTU. Have a wonderful day, my friend. All the best.